The minority communities are super important because that's where the real work has to begin, start, and it doesn't just end there.
I know this is ghetto. I'm from the hood. I'm 16.
I'm from 105. 105. I'm from 100.
Welcome, world, to another episode of the SmooveView. I'm your host, SmooveQuez, and I'm here with a very, very special guest. He's an HIV activist, social activist, the host of the Conversation Corridor, a car enthusiast, a licensed masseuse, teacher, uncle, brother, my friend, Cederick Taylor.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
I want to thank you for taking some time, taking some time out your busy schedule to give insight, bring the world into your world. I just want to have a nice conversation with you. We have conversations outside of here, but, let's let the world know about Cederick. My first couple questions, where exactly in the world are you from, Cederick?
Cleveland, Ohio. 105 to be exact. But, 105. Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay. And I want to know, what got you into teaching? What was your, I know the world themselves don't know you, but where you come off as a giver of knowledge, a person of great knowledge, and you don't really hold knowledge. So if you don't really take on the title of teacher anymore, what is the most important thing to you that makes you want to expound the knowledge that you have?
One of the most important things that make me want to expound the knowledge is that we see the lack of opportunity. And if we just know about a thing, we have access to it. And then going about how to navigate that is another beast in itself. So knowing what's available, how to access it, and how to utilize it to your best ability. For me, what made me get interested in it was by mistake. Like, I never wanted to, let me teach. I'm going to go do this thing and tell the people all about it. Never was interested in that. I actually don't like speaking in public. But the opportunities presented themselves. As I was teaching from K-8 up to high schoolers and now college students, I just saw the progression in other people. So the more that I shared my knowledge, I was like, Dad, they better off. All right, let's try this next thing. Oh, you can now do that. So I found that my space turned out to be education.
So from that, I get that you like to see the light in other people, and you like to shine the light to make that light brighter.
For sure.
To me, that sounds like an activist. So to segue into your activism, let's start out with your social activism. You've taken water to Flint. You
were involved in that too. So this ain't just about me. This guy does good work too. So you were part of that process.
Hey, this is the SmooveView, and we featuring Cederick Taylor today, not SmooveQuez. You like I said, you've taken water to Flint during the crisis. You've helped a lot of people in need at the expense of your own, sometimes time and money, your own resources. Would you mind expounding on, even deeper in the activism and how that makes you feel?
One, to sum it up, it makes me feel really good that I was able to make something different for somebody else. Rather it's good or great. Rather I'm down on my last and now they have 10 because of me. I'm okay with that because I've been in positions where I've been homeless as a child, no running water, no heat, slept in cars. Even as of 2 years ago, I was sleeping in the car for months at a time. So just to kind of see people better off. That's kind of where I get off at. It's all right, I didn't have it. Let's try to let somebody else experience that. I then became lucky enough to have like people behind me, like my godfather and other supporters, who I know, like, all right, if all else fails, I can rely on them. And there's a lot of people that don't have that. So I kind of navigate from a space like, all right, if it all fails, lean on me. I might not have all the answers. I might give you a little flack about the time because I'm sensitive about mine, but we going to figure it out.
Lean on Me, are you the teacher from Lean on Me? Do you think you're Morgan Freeman? You said you do crack, don't you?
You do crack around your baby gonna smoke crack. That's a good example, though. That's a good example of somebody to aspire to be. But I look at, you funny as hell for bringing up his ass. You're Morgan Freeman. Yeah, I'm Morgan Freeman, Cleveland, baby.
Okay, and speaking more on your activism, as I said earlier, a couple seconds ago, you're also an HIV activist. If you wouldn't care but to, explain how you got into that field and the success that you're having being an HIV activist.
Yeah, so as you see, this is a comfort mechanism here. It gets to a sensitive topic where 7 years ago, I did myself become HIV positive. At that point where it happened, I was also battling a lymphoma cancer scare. So at that time, when I found out, I was like, well, I'm going to withdraw all the money out of all my accounts and go on trips and make it real lavish before I call it a night. They called me and was like, it's not cancer. And I was just like, damn, I just took all this money out of my Navy Federal. What am I supposed to do now? You tell me I can live? This is bullshit. So that's when I found out about my diagnosis. Moving forward, hearing the stigma of that, to this day, I still get hate mail, text messages. People look at you funny. But the work that I do helps people in my situation who feel scared of a thing or feel like the world is over. I lean into them more because I know how that feels and I don't want them to feel that way. But, just to kind of make it a little quick is that after my diagnosis, I had the opportunity to speak at different universities, Case Medical School, Baldwin Wallace, about my own experience. And like there's cars all over the house and stuff, and people was like, oh my God, you did so great, I loved it, we should go get drinks and da-da-da-da. So the connections that I was having after that, I was like, oh, well, maybe I should expound on this more. It happened, got a job working at Metro Health as a patient navigator in the HIV departments. Seeing individuals come in and out, newly diagnosed, people falling out of care, getting back into care. That experience was interesting for me. Was able to be a mobile app administrator for people who are HIV positive. So took it from the in-person approach to a social media approach, bringing people together in a virtual space, essentially is what happened. That was during COVID, so motherfuckers was in their house, twiddling on the apps anyway, so what are ways that we can engage? When that happened, I started to see my presence throughout the United States. So I was like, oh, this is becoming something more than myself. Got a chance to go to Washington to do HIV research, went to Cincinnati after that to do public health with Hamilton County in HIV navigation, moved to Atlanta after that, moved back to Cleveland, and now I'm starting my own business called Taylor and Associates, which is strategic action behind ending the HIV epidemic.
Okay, that's
a lot.
That's
like 10%.
That's a lot, and that everything that you've been saying this entire conversation it was like you took the world's worst lemons and made the greatest lemonade in the world. Like everything you said, like from you understanding people feeling like they don't have somebody to be that person to lean on. You take that in every aspect of like your life, and you've become, to a sense, successful of it. Like I can see the glow. You Bruce Leroy, you got the glow. And speaking on the epidemic, would you mind expounding on the fast track cities and the
You've been doing your research.
I have.
Okay.
This is the SmooveView, not SmooveQuez. Would you mind expounding on the fast track cities and the actions that the city is taking to become a fast track city by the year of 2023? I mean 2030. I apologize.
You are doing your research. Good. So yes, moving back to Cleveland, I was getting a lot of feedback on, well, why'd you do that? Cleveland isn't this, Cleveland, blah, 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 blah. To be honest, moving back to Cleveland, I've started to live a better life than I've ever experienced. Part of that was coming back to Cleveland and working with the city of Cleveland in health equity and social justice. So I worked under the Commissioner Leader Wills. She's doing an amazing job over there. Cleveland declared racism as a public health crisis, so part of that is in the equity piece. But a lot of the work that I was doing was still in HIV navigation. The fast track cities piece is that select cities in the United States are selected to be fast track cities. What that means is the right people in the right places with the right resources and activities and actions to then eliminate the spread of HIV in the year 2030. So that means getting more people tested, eliminating the stigma on that. And a lot of people will say, like, well, I don't have it. I don't know that I don't have it, so I don't have it. And that's what you don't want. You want to get tested. So the idea is to get more people tested, to get them treated if they do become HIV positive. Or if you're still negative, there's other ways to not have HIV transmission due to other remedies and medications and things like that. So the city of Cleveland is a fast track city, along partnership with Cuyahoga County Board of Health. So it's a partnership. It's a driven force with the actions that we have in place. And I think that's where Taylor and Associates come in, and myself. It takes those grassroots individuals, the small people, to do the big things to make the process make sense. Because we know how city governments and things like that is. They'll get the money, they'll get the praise, and then it's kind of like, what happens next? Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, it's kind of like the potholes in the city. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That fly in here working.
Yeah, that just means we the shit. That's all.
That's all.
Yeah. To ask a couple more questions, to get more information, get more insight about you, to bring the world to Cedrick Taylor and the world of Cedrick. As I mentioned earlier, you're a car enthusiast. I want to know, what are your 3 dream cars and why?
You know what's crazy? Last week I just changed one of my dream cars. My ultimate dream car was a Audi RS7 Performance. That thing gets 600 something plus horsepower. But then the United States in 2020, I believe, 2019, 2020, got the RS6 Avant. A wagon with the speed of a exotic car? Like, that's crazy. Now there's a performance out. Mm-hmm. So now let's get 630 horsepower, 630 pounds-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds, in a hatch? Crazy. So that's number one.
This
2020? Yeah. Them motherfuckers is crazy. You're going to see me riding around in a station wagon smoking Hellcats. I don't care how much horsepower you got. That fat-ass car ain't going to make it. That's a big motherfucker. So that would be number one, the RS6 Avant Performance. And I got to go to the SUV or SUC world of things, and that would be the BMW X6M Performance. And I guess a third will probably be the P1 McLaren.
Okay.
That ain't nothing to play with right there. So I'm going to either beat you in the station wagon, a truck, or I'm going to just do a two-seater and smoke your ass. So those are my 3 right there. And honorable mention is a Ducati.
Okay. Motorcycle.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like you like speed. Mister, I'm start calling you Lightning McQueen.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I got a couple more questions for you. You know, I don't want to take too much of your time. You know, you're a busy man. I'm already putting in your application to be mayor of the city with all the
Thank you so much.
the activism that you do, all the things that you do in the city for the people. Like, this man takes on Saturdays, just like takes food to like random people. Like,
I
just.
do.
Would you mind talking about that? What organization that's a partnership with, and exactly what that is?
So a couple of things that take up my weekends is the Conversation Corridor is on Sundays. I usually do a Sunday brunch, and that's shrimp and grits. I mean, steak, egg, and cheese, whole 9 yards. And sometimes if the budget not there, keep donating. We might have a sandwich. But Conversation Corridor is about bringing the city together to have a brunch. And we're going to talk about it real hard, hence the conversation piece. And we talk about the social determinants of health, access, education, employment, workforce readiness, training, all whole 9 yards. So we have conversations. The other piece of that, on Saturdays, I teach at Cleveland State, I teach community health work. So that is basically the gladiators of public health, bridging the gaps between the individual and the healthcare system. The other piece of that is doing food delivery. So with a couple of different organizations like A Vision of Change, who is a grassroots organization down on 105, We Think for a Change, which is another grassroots organization. And both of these are ran by Black women.
And it's International Women's Month.
Absolutely. So paying homage to them. They've taken into me in terms of like molding me, shaping me, educating me, and just grooming me into the process of like community work. But they do food deliveries. And these food deliveries are for seniors who don't have as much as others. This is for any individual, mostly individuals who are HIV positive. But this is for the community in general. So if you don't have food, you tell somebody like me, I connect you to the person or activity, and then we make sure you get some sort of food. Be patient. I'm going to say that because we'll get calls like, well, you ain't here yet. Okay, well, I got this little Toyota RAV4 to be stuffing all your damn chicken and greens in. Give us a minute. So we make sure that individuals get the produce, the grains, the fruits and vegetables, and meats and things that they need. Pay attention to people's dietary restrictions. So we have a couple of people who don't do pork. So we pay attention to those things. And those things are important. And the masses will think, oh, it's just food, give it to them. But there's strategic thought behind what happens there. So.
Okay. Again, I'm really at a loss for words, like just hearing the as well as I'm knowing that the audience is getting this as well. This is one of like God's children. Like, you know, you don't want to get too religious on public platforms and such, but this is my platform. You know, so I can do
what you want.
I can do whatever the hell I want to. But yeah, this is one of literal God's children. Like I said it jokingly, but he literally is one of these people that have the glow. When you find people like this, when you see people like this, just understand that God is close to you because he is with him.
Amen.
Hey, man, I had to get my preacher on for a second. Well.
Talk about it. Take your time, man.
And God and and Lord Jesus. Yeah, man. You really again, I really appreciate you taking this time out, you know, to have this conversation with me. You know, if you have, not if, would you mind telling people what you have coming up next? Any things that you are having to do in the near future?
Yeah. Keep on the lookout for Taylor and Associates. That is a company I just started in March, and it has $0 right now. But what I'm hoping is to gain the support to have those dollars to then, let me explain it. So the Taylor and Associates Taylor is my last name. I'm gonna put that on everything. But the associates piece are community health workers, individuals who don't have the workforce readiness, people who can't find a job due to their record and things like that. That associate piece is what's going to drive our community. So that's going to give opportunity for volunteer hours, continuous education credits, and to put $1 in somebody's pocket. So I do need the community support to kind of get that off the ground. So you're going to see a lot more presence of Taylor and Associates, so be on the lookout for that. So that's coming. As well as more brunches for Conversation Corridor. That's going to come about. This weather is starting to break. So usually last summer what we did was Conversation Corridor, learning, workshop, and then we did a rooftop party after each event. So we're looking to do more of those and some shit throughout the week. Excuse my language. But I'm just excited about it because it's some things that's going to be in the works. But I do need support of the community, and if we could just get people out and kind of just alleviate the stigma, leave that shit at home, come have a good time, at least eat the food, and write your name on the paper so I can get funded. So yeah, I'm trying to create something that's for the community. So that's coming up. Taking a couple of trips. I'll be in LA in April at the CFAR annual meeting. CFAR is Center for AIDS Research. So trying to get that together, trying to get some funding for that and bring more of that capacity to Cleveland. And I just need the support. So we got some things coming up, artistic-wise, educational-wise, and just something fun.
Okay. And again, I'm definitely gonna have your Cash App down at the bottom, and so we can get that support for you because people who take their time out for things like this, who do things for the community needs support. So it's now one hand washing the other, and they both washing the face. So now we all clean and we all having a great time. Man, this is a great man here. Yeah.
He didn't ask my favorite artist.
Oh, who so happens to be your favorite artist?
So glad you asked. I actually don't have one, but hear me out. It's the way you act. I'm in love with Layla Hathaway.
Okay.
I've never been to a concert before, and over the summer, my godfather was like, "We got an extra ticket. Come to the concert." And I went to. It was fun. It was good. It was at Kane Park. So I want to see more.
Layla Hathaway was at Kane Park?
You missed it. Outside in the rain, thunderstorm happening. Layla Hathaway singing down on the stage.
At the stage at the
corner by the dance studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Layla Hathaway. Yep. Who else? I had a list. I forgot it. Thank you for asking.
That's cool. I know SmooveQuez was somewhere on there, but what's understood doesn't have to be
that's
said.
That's what I'm saying. They know what's up already.
You know.
You got a concert or showing coming?
Something
happening?
I have things coming in the summertime. I'm going to be performing with a band, doing shows across the city in the summertime. I have a project coming in April called Before I Go. It's going to be a nice collection of like music that I do, and more SmooveView interviews coming out with more artists and more interesting people like Cederick here. Just staying busy, man. I don't want to talk about myself, but just staying busy, man.
Well, that's the nature of it. I want you to glorify yourself too, because this is still a process where people need to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
This is why you're tuning in.
Absolutely.
It's people like himself.
Absolutely.
So appreciate your time.
Man, appreciate
your talents.
Man, appreciate your time and your effort and your heart. Appreciate your heart, man. And again, this is another episode of the SmooveView. I'm SmooveQuez. This is Cedrick Taylor, and that's it.